Hey everybody, Mark's Back to Comics, and I'm back. This time, I got my one book pickup for March. If you're interested in seeing what I picked up and a little gift from a friend of mine, stay tuned for that intro. Okay, so welcome back. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so that when I do put out some content, you get in a timely fashion. So, if you watched my recent video, I talked about how I'm going to try to buy just one book for the year of 2025 each month, and I'm gonna try pretty hard to stick with it. And I ended up going to a friend of mine's house the other day, Mike Murfinator, and just on a whim, I was driving back up to Vermont and got some gas, and just was telling him in a group chat of mine that I'm at your local comic shop. I just wanted to see if there was anything there that I wanted to pick up. So I talked to the owner briefly, Randy, and it was like, oh, just small chat. And it was just like, oh, I'm just looking to pick up a random book, just to read. And that was part of my recent video. That I might go to a comic shop here and there. I might go to a buddy's house. Might go to a local show, and pick up, maybe a small $20 book, $50 book, $100 book, $1,000 book. Not preferably not $1,000 book every month, but just one book. Just try to stick with it. On an occasion, I may go pick up like a book to read, which would be separate. But so that's what I ended up doing. I went to the comic book shop and I picked up a little book to read, which I have right here next to me. Um, so this one really caught my eye. Didn't even know they were doing these what ifs recently, and this one came out about a month ago. A little, yeah, this was late January, I believe, and picked up this what if Galactus transformed Moon Knight. I believe it's just a one issue, and it was actually a pretty good read. Um, the Galactus ended up given the powers to be a herald to initially Khonshu, and then he kind of turned on Galactus and he tried to fight him, and then he ended up dying. And then he reached out to Mark Spector, and he ended up taking up the Herald of Galactus, and then they had a nice little battle. It was a pretty good story. So that was a pretty good read. I don't often pick up new comics, um, but once in a while, I'll pick a random one on a whim, and this one was actually a pretty good one. So if you're interested in reading about these what ifs, I think they made 4 or 5 of them right now so far. Check it out. And the artwork was pretty good. So I messaged him while I was there, and then he was just hanging out at home, and I swung by because he was only like a few minutes from the comic book shop. So I ended up going to Mike Amazing Murfinator's house. We hung out for a little bit, had some beers, talked about upcoming shows. He's actually going to be setting up at KingsCon in New Jersey, which I think is in April. It's a great show. I've never had the privilege of going, but I've heard some great things. So he had his setup, for his wall books down in the basement. We took a look at it and ended up picking up a book. So I'll show you the book, and then it had been a while since I've been at his place, and then the last time I went there, I brought my son there, and he was like very small. He was probably like two or probably late, going on to 3, and he gave him a little Mack truck. I believe it was a garbage truck, and he played with it for many years until it broke. Um, so I'm gonna show you the book, and he ended up giving a gift as well to my son. So I'll show you that after. So looked at the his wall books, and there was one book that caught my eye, and I've always, for the longest time, when I first had a poll list years ago, I don't have a poll list anymore. Back in I used to have a poll list back in Connecticut, in Putnam, and I remember this book specifically coming out. I was collecting this short run with the Middleton covers for Batgirl, but this one came out right out the gates, and it ended up being like a $30 book, and I just passed on it. And then years later, just it's been slowly going up. So he had this book on his wall, and I was like, I gotta go home with this book. This book's awesome, and it would fit into my one book for the month that I've been trying to do. Shout out to Alex the Comic Quarter because he's the one that started this little project. So I'm gonna try to stick with it. So book in question, boom, Batgirl, issue number 23. Beautiful Josh Middleton cover. Love this cover. It's not a significant, there's no key or anything like that outside of the classic cover. And he had this on his wall, and I asked him how much it was, and we ended up working out a nice little deal. So that was my one pickup for March, Batgirl issue number 23. So thanks, Mike, for that. I was really happy to pick that book up, and I might send it off just for grading because it looks super clean. Definitely looked like a 9/8 contender. And then he ended up, you know, I told him, my son's been collecting Pokemon cards quite a bit. He's big into cards, and he takes out two binders worth of cards. He's like, hey, pick one, and you can give it to your son. So I picked the red one because red's my favorite color. And I never knew these existed up until maybe a year ago when I saw a couple of channels showing out some Marvel cards. And then for a brief period, there was like this big craze of like the New Mutants 98 card, which, which I was like, what the hell is that? But ended up picking this set of Marvel cards, and I'll show you some of the key cards in here that I thought were pretty cool. There's some X-Men related cards, and just some really cool artwork. So these are gonna go to my son. I told him there's gonna be maybe one or two cards on here I'm gonna keep for myself because of the characters, obviously. So I'll show you which ones are on there. And it's pretty cool. On the back, they tell you some information about the cards, the character, what their first appearance comic book is. So this is pretty cool. It gives you some information on some of these characters you wouldn't necessarily know. And I'll probably point one out for you that I didn't even know about this character. But just great artwork. Here's a Doctor Doom one. You got the Human Torch, Doctor Strange. You got some nice Spidey villains here. You got the Green Goblin. You got Hulk. You got Hobgoblin. Oh, here's your Galactus right here. Galactus. And then on the back, it tells you their first appearances. But here's one of the cards I'm going to keep for myself because he's one of my favorite villains. Is Kang the Conqueror. If you're not familiar, Avengers number 8 is his first appearance. And then the other card I'm going to keep for myself is this Moon Knight card. So really cool Marvel cards that like I said, up until recently I never knew these were even made. So really cool. There's a character I didn't even know about. There's this one right here, Megan. Not familiar with that card. I know it's an X-Men related character, but just some really cool looking cards. So thanks, Mike, for gifting that. I'm gonna after recording this video, I'm actually driving back home, so he's gonna be excited to see these. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. If you did, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, Mark Spector Comics out.